on the intersection of business, community, culture, and our favorite sport, football. We're here recording live from Innovation Studio in downtown Houston, thanks to the in studio production by Creatopia Inc. So, yeah, this is a beautiful sunny day, and we are ready to talk a little bit about football. Remember that you can leave your comments and questions in the live chat. Here, let me check what we have going on here. But yeah, today is going to be a special day. Like I mentioned last week, we really want to focus on youth soccer. And, after World Cup, there's just so many great things happening, so much enthusiasm around the sport. A lot of new faces, a lot of people that are interested, a lot of youth that are also interested. But the reality is that youth soccer has been big here in Houston for a long time, and there's a lot of individuals that have been part of that space. And so I think it's really important to get to know them, learn a little bit about what they have going on, how they've seen the impact of soccer, or actually just the sport grow, and then also see kind of where it's going. So today's guest is let me tell you a little bit about him. He's an entrepreneur, educator, a soccer executive, insurance professional, and a devoted husband and father who has built his career around developing people both on and off the field. So, with more than 15 years of experience in education, athletics, and business leadership, William has served as a teacher, technology specialist, athletic administrator, and youth soccer leader. He's the founder of Katie Elite Athletics, an organization dedicated to creating opportunities for young athletes and families through sports, mentorship, and community engagement. He also serves in academy leadership and has directed camps and programs alongside internationally recognized soccer organizations, helping develop thousands of young players across the United States. I'm also going to say he's Salvadoran. So that is why you see me here repping the repping the blue and white. So William Escobar, welcome to the show.
Thank you. Thank you very much for inviting me.
Yeah, no, thank you so much for coming. And this is an exciting time. Houston just hosted the biggest sporting event. There's still a lot of enthusiasm. I think we've been in the soccer world now for many years, and so we know it. But there's just more eyes, more interest, and so it's really exciting to have you here because you've been doing a lot in the soccer space for a long time, and so want to definitely get to know more about that, and then also where you see things going. So thank you for being here.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Thank you for having me.
Yeah. So let's start at the beginning. Where did your love for the game start?
I want to say when I arrived to this country, I think it was the way to it became a universal language, right? If you go out in the field and that's where you start meeting the same characters or not the same characters, but however in the field you're all as one. You're on this part of the same team. You take part in the same demeanor that you want to be able to be successful and win. And I think early on that's what kept me so focused on it, just because from youth soccer to where we are now, it's always been the same. It's always been let's work as a team, and the skills that you build from being part of that team, they can also be part of your life as an adult,
Mm-hmm.
which is the reason why I'm a big believer in youth sports. Of course, I always prioritize soccer just because that's what I grew up. That's what me and my dad bonded with,
Mm-hmm.
and I can pass it on to my daughters as well. But it's also taught me a lot of different skills that education or college doesn't teach you.
Mm-hmm.
And as a youth player or a youth coach, you can see that. And I'm a big advocate for that.
Yeah.
and I want to push forward with that as well.
No, that's awesome. And so you said that it was a universal language for you. So how young did you start playing, and what was that trajectory or your career your trajectory in those early years?
I moved here when I was 5 years old. I believe my dad signed me up for the YMCA when I was 6 years old. So some of my friends that I'm still friends with, I believe at the age of 8, we've played in the same team together. My friend Rafa, my friend Jonathan, we still are friends, and then it's just been progressing ever since. I mean, now we're in our 40s and we still try to play, even though we can't anymore. But it's still a bonding experience that most of my friends are part of from the teams that I grew up playing with.
Mhm. That's really cool. And I think that's such a beautiful thing because a lot of friends that I have that played together, yeah, I mean that continues on for life.
Mhm.
There's still either you still continue playing in some sort of way or be it indoor, outdoor, whatever, but then you also start being part of the soccer ecosystem,
Absolutely.
right? So, all right. So you played in school. You played as a youth, and then how did everything evolve from there? Because now you're also coaching. I mean, so I just kind of was there a moment where you're like, huh, this is this is something that I really want to make sure that I continue doing beyond my passion?
I believe the turning point was probably my junior year in high school. Um, I I learned early on that I'm not going to be a professional athlete, at least in soccer. However, um, I'm a student athlete, student first. So
Mhm.
then a teacher, I remember an English teacher told me once, like, graduate top 10%, and then the opportunities are going to be limitless. I focus on that. Continue playing youth soccer, and then was able to find myself in a situation where, okay, let me get a academic scholarship and also attend a school that offers soccer.
Mhm.
And I was able to figure that out. It just opened up so many opportunities. Then once I graduated college, and I always, you know, became my girlfriend at the time, became my wife. She's always been adamant about following my passions,
Mhm.
and just being on the field is what I love to do,
Yeah.
and just developing that talent, developing that youth, not just on the field, but just everything else that you do. Like
Yeah.
some of my players now, that were my youth players are my coaches now, and I bring them with me
Oh, I
in
love
different
that.
camps. They graduated college already, and they're pursuing their careers, and they also do that as well, and they follow that as a passion. So it's just something that it hit me when I was in high school. I
Mhm.
realized it, and then I also want to be able to, whenever I was in coaching high school level, I was very adamant about showing it to the players. There's different options.
Mhm.
There's different opportunities. Be wonderful to become a professional athlete, but there's also other avenues that you can
Yeah.
pursue in that industry.
Yeah. No, and I love that you mentioned the importance of that teacher, right? That helped you also realize, like, hey, all right, I do have to do this
Yep,
because teachers are so important.
absolutely
They can really change lives. And then you're also in education,
correct.
or you were in education,
Absolutely.
yeah. And so how were those years of being in education and just being like a mentor for so many kids that you were coaching?
I feel like those years really impacted me because of course, I was younger. However, I was a young father as well, and I always wanted to be uh, part of my kids growing up, and that allowed me the opportunity to be able to do it. Um, Paid you decently in a way where you're able to have a career out of it, but also you get to pursue your passion, which is coaching.
Yeah.
Again, like I said, you're a student athlete, but you're a teacher coach here, and you impact students in such ways that whenever they see you in the hallways and they strain up, just because, oh, that's coach, like, don't affect my playing time. or the grades, right?
Yeah.
Staying on top of the grades, attending school. I was in the education world when pre-COVID and during COVID,
Oh, wow.
so I kind of got to see it was a blessing because during COVID, I was more involved and more engaged with the parents. Something as simple as they don't know how to log in online, or
Mhm.
they don't have access to internet at that point because they can't afford it. So then I worked for HIAZ, so they provided that. So it was like, okay, I can get you a box, and here you go, let's install it, and you got to log into school
Mhm.
because we haven't seen you in a while or whatever. Like we need to be able to do that. So that was very impactful.
Mhm.
So then when it came to the season, they already knew, like, oh, this is my coach. Like he would go, he knows who my parents are. Like he's gone to the house, and I always wanted to be in a situation where I selected a school where I was working at that I was approachable, in the sense where, hey man, I've done what you've done, I've been where you've been, and
Mhm.
I can not necessarily be a role model, but just like be that male figure that they kind of look to, like, okay, well, there is other opportunities
Mhm.
out there, or there is another avenue outside of just working or playing soccer.
Yeah. Yeah. No, that's really cool. And you really got to see a big a big change from pre-COVID to COVID time. So,
Yes,
wow.
absolutely.
I just major shout out to the teachers, the educators. I know that
Yes.
this is the week that a lot of them are going back to school,
Yes.
and you know what? Sending all the positive energy and everything for a good school year, because yeah, teachers are so important, educators are so important.
Absolutely.
Wow. So you were doing that, and then I mean, but your soccer career has, uh, I mean, you've done a lot of different things, because I know you were also, on the coaching staff for a club and for a UPSL team as well. So tell us a little bit about kind of going into that space.
I kind of feel like I've always been a person that I don't shy away from opportunities. So, like my wife says, I say yes to pretty much any opportunity I have. However, when the opportunity came along, it was because I was trying to. I had my own soccer academy that I built. I had a great mentor, Coach Juan Carlos Ruiz, who had all the accreditations and everything. However, his passion was youth soccer.
Mm-hmm.
He could have gone and he did coach professional, all these different levels. He's in California now, but um, me and him bonded over youth soccer and just doing it the right way.
Mm-hmm.
So I started an academy in Rosenberg area where my daughter and my nephews, they were all the same age, 4 or 5 years old, similar to how my dad did
Mm-hmm.
that group. And that group grew. And then it became to a part where, like, okay, well, let's build something bigger. In Houston, in order for you to get into the big leagues, the big clubs,
Mm-hmm.
have to be able to have a team in each age bracket. So then what I did is I looked for an opportunity to be able to merge my academy into them. And one of the opportunities came up were like, hey, we need a UPSL coach.
Mm-hmm.
And it happened to be that they had two different ones. And I kind of went with the one where it was the college kids coming.
Mm-hmm.
So we were able to get those kids. You saw how hard they worked, the trainings. They wanted to be able to be out there. Some of them hadn't played since high school. Some of them were looking for different opportunities. So we were able to create from them graduating high school, just give them the opportunity, like, hey, you can go to college and play here, and
Mm-hmm.
also you don't have to go to Division One. Just being able to educate them and teach them on life that we've been able to experience. That was great. And also seeing the kids that I started coaching when we were young. Now some of them are still playing, and they're still in the same academy, and that's always the goal, right? Like
Mm-hmm.
keep them playing and keep them safe because those they sometimes they spend more time with us as a coach, especially when you're in schools in
Mm-hmm.
education. Those kids, some of them sometimes those boys or those girls, they're with you 4 hours afterwards, and those 4 hours are very impactful because they could
Yeah.
be doing other things,
Mm-hmm.
and but they're with you, and they grow a bond with you. And like I said, now some of them I still keep in touch with. Some of them work with me, and like I mentioned, I always don't shy away from opportunities,
Mm-hmm.
and I hope that's what they learn, at least from the
Yeah.
time they spend with me.
That's amazing. That's amazing. And so that initial academy that you founded, is that what has now become Katie Elite Athletics?
Correct, correct. So then it became from meeting the right parents, and then meeting the right connects, and then sitting down, having a plan, and discussing how can we impact more.
Hmm.
And it was like, okay, let's create let's create a teaching environment where the kids are learning. We also are teaching coaches, and we're also taking on opportunities that others can't do.
Hmm.
So kind of build a business plan. Shout out to Elva who helped me along the way with it. When
Yay.
we started, she was very instrumental on
Hmm.
telling us what we needed to do, what we shouldn't do, what worked for her in the past, and what didn't.
Yeah.
And it became what it is now, where we just kind of take on the gigs and then create the modules or the curriculum.
Hmm.
So it can either be a summer camp that somebody hires us to do, and then we create the curriculum for the coaches.
Yeah.
We get them their accreditations, we get them their background checks, and then we provide the support staff to go do those camps.
Yeah.
And then it also blends in with other businesses and things of that nature.
Yeah. That's wonderful. Yeah, because I mean, soccer is such an important sport in our
Yes.
community. And how, like, over the years, as from the time that you were coaching at the schools to then starting your own venture, how have you seen the growth of youth soccer here in Houston?
Oh, it's just such a crazy growth that I mean it's anticipated, being our demographics what they are.
Hmm.
However, the city kind of allowing different parks to be open more.
Hmm.
When I first got into youth soccer, it was very monopoly of this club is in these fields, these clubs are in these fields, and nobody was really able to figure out what you needed to do.
Hmm.
So early on, being you're always your parents' first advocate, right? Like you need to translate this document or you need to do this.
Yeah.
So I'm always big on learning, and I learned in business school like never be ashamed or feel like the dumbest person in the room or the less successful person in the room, because you're gonna learn from that.
Yeah.
So I always felt like there's a reason why I'm gonna go find out how to do this. And then once you start figuring out different things around or what the how the politics of it works and what you need to do, then it opens up so many fields, so many opportunities. And now you see all these parks that are open, and
Hmm.
it's for me it's wonderful seeing kids out there playing and enjoying the fields. Um, you see them just 24/7, even though it's extremely hot here. However,
It's true.
um, you want to be able to give that to the kids. I feel
Yeah.
like that's what we're here for, to be able to give that opportunity to those kids that are coming up.
Yeah. Yeah, no, it's true. I still can't believe that kids are out there. And I try to remember, my youth, but I don't remember it being that hot.
Yes.
And yeah, to see them playing, during especially like noon, I'm
Hmm.
like, "Oh wow. Those noon games, those are killer."
Yes.
But wow. So, this summer we had the big game, right? We
Hmm.
had a lot happening here in Houston. And one of the things that has come out of that is the Legacy project, where they are opening up, or they're at least fixing a lot of the green spaces here in Houston. Do you think that we need more? Like, because and I will say this, I personally do, right? Because this is such a big city, and there's still, I've seen so many parents and kids that haven't even been exposed to the
Hmm.
sport. But a lot of times it's also because, they just don't have green spaces close to them. But do you think that there is a need, or would you even say like, oh, maybe in this part of town there's an opportunity to do more, as far as like having green spaces or spaces for kids to play?
I agree that we should be able to have more green space. I also feel like we should be able to go back to how we were, or at least in my time when I was in school. My first exposure to sports was through elementary school,
Mm.
right? So my coach in elementary school, They had us running cross country, track as an elementary school, soccer when we played against other schools, and you got to see other areas of town.
Mhm.
And I feel like that's lacking right now. I know a lot of coaches that are trying to work on that. Like Coach Vincenzo Cox at A-Leaf, starting his own futsal academy with the elementary schools and in the intermediate schools,
Oh, yeah.
where that's what I grew up doing, right?
Mhm.
Like you get exposure to different things and you get to play and see it, where other parents don't have the opportunity to do it after school,
Yeah.
or they don't have the funds to be able to put them in a club.
Right.
That's all they have, and that's all they need sometimes.
Yeah.
And that can help impact at a young age. And I think that's if we do the combination of both, open up
Mhm.
fields, open up this, open up that, and also these schools be able to offer that, it'll be way more impactful.
Yeah. No, I had heard about that in A-Leaf,
Hmm.
and it sounded very interesting because I think that they also used the gym like for days when it
Hmm.
was too hot, and I was like, oh, I love that. I love that. That he was able to gain that access and
Yes.
provide that for the kids. So no, you're right. There's definitely an opportunity to find more ways of doing those partnerships. And opening up those spaces in
Hmm.
schools.
For
So.
sure.
All right, so we need to start advocating for that. We
Yes.
really do. We really, really do. So where do you see youth sports, youth soccer going, especially after this very eventful summer?
The hope is for youth soccer to get to a point where um, it's free for the kids to partake in it. But there's so much exposure to it by that time that I feel like all the clubs are not free or are affordable in a
Mhm.
way, where I see a lot of academies now coming into the state or into the city and offering great facilities,
Mhm.
great coaching, great curriculum, um, but also at a affordable rate, right? I
Mhm.
also see some academies that are like, you're paying how much?
Yeah.
Like that's a lot. That's astronomical amounts of
Yeah.
to be able to play for a 7-year-old,
Yeah.
um, and and I feel like that's how we're changing. I think we have to change to that way, to that route where it's not gonna you're not gonna have to make a decision where like, well, am I gonna sign my daughter or my son up for youth soccer? However, I won't be able to purchase this,
Yeah.
and then, but I can do it. I can do both, right? So
Mhm.
I feel like that's what we're turning to, and that's my hope and my prayers every night is that it becomes that
Yeah.
where everybody can have access to it. Because growing up we played soccer because it's a soccer ball and you can get with 10 friends and that's it, and you can
Yeah.
play all night.
Yeah.
And but then once it comes to the business part of it, you
Yeah.
kind of understand that as well. But I see some visionaries coming into that where corporates are coming and becoming involved and trying to help with that. And I hope that's what we see in the next coming years.
Yeah. Well, and I mean that's been a very big point of discussion. And I've seen it a lot, especially online, where you hear, like the Landon Donovans,
Hmm.
the oh my gosh, what is his name from Nacogdoches?
You are referring to Mr.
I can't remember.
Clem Dempsey. Dempsey.
Yes. Where they have been
Hmm.
advocating for more grassroots soccer that's affordable for kids because, that's how they
Yes.
kind of went into the pipeline. So no, you're right. And so tell us a little bit about where your business is at, right? What do you offer and what do you have coming up?
Well, co-founder along with my wife with for Katie Lee Athletics and also a Navi Insurance Group. Our insurance brokerage, we focus primarily on commercials side of it, and that opens up so many opportunities when it comes just in soccer, right?
Yeah.
Um, and with Katie Lee Athletics, we try to focus on just creating every person that we see or that comes to our doors or that we talk to, by the end of the day or the end of whatever scenario or business that we have going along, that that person grows, or that person becomes a better part of themselves, or we learn from them as well, right? We can't stop learning at that end. So um, I try to take in both aspects of business. Every opportunity I have to talk to somebody, it's a learning experience or
Mhm.
educational. We get some education from it. Either I teach the or educate the client on something, or I learn something from them.
Yeah, that's very cool. And so, off camera, we were talking about some of the other projects that you have also been involved in.
Hmm.
And I just want to learn a little bit more about them because when you mentioned, the beach soccer, I've seen information about it online and stuff, and I haven't made it down to Galveston, but I thought that is really cool.
Yes.
I love that. First of all, I love the fact that we have that here
Hmm.
here in Galveston, but then also the fact that you're involved. So tell us a little bit about how you got involved and where that's headed as well.
I think 7 years ago, when my mentor Juan Carlos Ruiz, he used to be a Nike coach, and I used to help him with the soccer camps.
Hmm.
They're the same company that also does the beach camps, and one day they asked me, "Hey, can you come help on the beach camp?" And it was like something where I think it's like we have there's like 30 fields out there on East End Beach
Hmm.
in Galveston. And it was something as simple as going to get the scores and making sure the referees were on time, making sure the teams knew the scores and everything like that going on. And it evolved over time where, I've taken over that and helped run those camps and also the tournaments where now I come in and I bring some of my coaching staff on here and we try to make sure that like, at the end of the day, kids are having a good time
Yeah.
because altercations happen, right? You're heated, it's hot.
Hmm.
However, at the end of the day, I always tell my parents that I'm involved, turn around, your kids are playing in the beach. Like this is what it's about, right?
Yeah.
Like whatever we do here, they're gonna see it, and we want to be able to make sure they have a good experience. So that's always been the mindset the last couple of years.
Hmm.
Whenever I been involved in it, where the kids have a great experience and have
Hmm.
that in their mind, like man, my parents took me because some of them come over from El Paso, they come over from
Wow.
Dallas, they stay overnight,
Hmm.
they stay at the beach, they provide business to the seawall and all the
Hmm.
different things that they do, and you want to be able to make sure like they understand what the sacrifices their parents are doing to get
Yeah.
them there, and then also have a great experience, and then remember that it's my parents took me to this and it was great. We had a good time. Who cares who won?
Yeah.
But I was out there and they're out there for 3 hours a day. And then we try to make the schedule where like either you come in the morning and then you're done by the evening time, or
Hmm.
you come in evening time so you can enjoy the morning.
Yeah.
Because at the end of the day, it's supposed to be something that the kids remember as a good experience.
Yeah, no, that sounds like fun. So what's better, beach soccer or regular soccer on grass?
I'm grass is what it is. Not turf, grass. I love the grass. Like nothing beats fresh cut grass smell in the
Yeah.
morning, right? And when the sprinklers are on and all that,
Hmm.
it's the best feeling in
It
my
is.
opinion.
Although you know what? I haven't played beach soccer, so I don't know. Like maybe next time. Next time I'm in Salvador, go out to the beach and do that.
Yeah, it dominates, absolutely dominates. But the beaches are are very different than here, but you see it out there. You see, which is what I told you earlier. It's like
Hmm.
I haven't seen that before when I went to my dad's side. You see it everywhere. Like
Yeah.
just put two, and that's what we did growing up. Put somebody's shoe here, somebody's shoe there,
Hmm.
and you go here, you go there, you go here, and let's go, let's play. And that's what they do, and it's
Yeah.
it's amazing to watch.
It's so easy. It is
Yes,
so easy. I mean, this is why soccer, football, is the world sport
yes,
because you truly only need a ball or some sort of round something,
hmm,
right? Because I mean, even that,
yes,
and then find una piedrita, little rock, whatever. It doesn't matter what, but just to make your goals.
hmm.
So yeah, no, and so I guess kind of now going a little bit into El Salvador and all of that. Do you follow any of the teams?
My dad's growing up. Our team names always is Limeño.
Hmm.
That's my dad made us bleed blue and yellow. Every single team that he made, we were Limeño. All my friends that know that, we were always Limeño. So that's who we follow. And then just getting to see like my dad always giving back to his community. He was the one that would always, send him a pair of cleats to the
Hmm.
players, or when they come in town, they hang out with my dad because they're from the same little neighborhood.
Yeah.
That's what we followed growing up. But of course, also being true Salvadoran Real Madrid fan, growing up, and America fans growing up because that's what my dad went for, and
Mhm.
I try to
América
Mexico.
de México, okay.
Yes. So it was always that, and then anything else like can't do that because that's who my dad went for. But that's what we followed growing up is El Municipal Limeño.
Okay, very cool. Yeah, I don't think they've made it into the Central American Cup. And
No,
I know that started yesterday. So I think it's Firpo and
I
FAS.
think they're having a Caribbean Cup right now. They get to go play in the
Oh, that's what
Caribbean.
it is. Yeah, yeah. So, well, maybe next time.
My mom liked the Águilas, the San Miguel, but my dad never let us. He never even bought a shirt for us. Like
Oh,
we would have, like, even my
wow.
daughters, like they have Limeño stuff and all our uniforms.
Uh-huh.
Never. So we always had that, like growing up. Like you're not
Okay.
gonna, you're not gonna go for them. You're gonna go for Limeño. That's what we did.
Yeah. Wow. Okay. No, that is very interesting
Yes.
because I mean, I know Los Aguiluchos, they are hardcore.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, wow. Um, well, and another thing we talked about off camera, and I kind of want to get your thoughts on this, women's soccer, and specifically about El Salvador. But what do you think, or how do you see next year's World Cup panning out for not only the United States national team, but also for the Salvadoran national team?
I see them qualifying and making it to Brazil. I told my daughter, my 10-year-old daughter, I was like, we're gonna go to Brazil. You're gonna be able to watch USA, Mexico, and El Salvador and cheer for whoever you want.
Hmm.
Um, and I see it that, like I mentioned earlier, they're doing it the right way.
Hmm.
With I think you have to find somebody who has the passion for the not just necessarily the sport, but the team and the well
Yeah.
being of the team. And I see that in there, and it also got great talent
Hmm.
there, and your roots are always your roots, and it also has to do with it. Kind of comes into where the U.S. soccer, like I mentioned earlier, is so expensive in some
Yep.
certain ways, where it kind of opens that door, and we were able to jump on it and get those
Hmm.
players that have the dual citizenship to come in and be like, come play over here instead, and you still be able to have some great talent or develop your talent, and the way that he's doing it, where he's sending them out to export them out, go play
Hmm.
wherever you can, as long as you get the experience. I think
Yeah.
that's wonderful to see.
Yeah. Well, and then some of the talent is actually from Houston.
Uh-huh,
So
absolutely.
that is great. I mean, and that just again, it just goes back to show the amount of talent that we have here,
Yes.
like from and why it's so important to really build up the youth the youth ecosystem so that they are not only, getting the experience and learning, but they continue to keep that joy. Because I
Yes.
think that one of the things that I continue to see, especially just kind of dabbling, right? Because I can't say that I'm full into youth soccer or youth sports, is the fact that um, at such a young age, there the competitiveness of it starts to become a burden
Yes.
and a weight for these kids, and I'm like, but it should still be fun. And I
Hmm.
can understand, you're going into competitive level, and you yes, you want to win, your coaches want to win, your parents want to win, but that's not it. That's
Hmm.
not all. And so I love the fact that there's still a lot of individuals in the space that are making sure that the environment is there, that it's safe, that it's fun, and that you know they are being given an opportunity to learn and to experience and to grow.
Of
So
course.
yeah, no, I'm glad to know all of the great things that you're doing, and I know that this summer has been I'm sure a long one for you with
Yes.
everything, not just World Cup, but all of the projects that you've also been doing. So how are you preparing for the fall?
Well, club soccer starts next week already. Back to school starts next week already. So I tell my parents whenever I talk to them, even though I'm not coaching their teams anymore, but I'm still part of the club soccer. Just give me 10 weeks of commitment, right? Because those
Mhm.
10 weeks, you'll have 8 games in between there. Just give me from now until before Thanksgiving comes, and getting into practice because it's as a kid you don't understand that,
Yeah.
but the commitment from the parents is amazing. Like we have some Some parents that I reached out to that have been playing with me forever since their kids are young, and we now have a couple of years now where my daughter's team is all girls team. So
Mhm.
being a girl dad, I'm a huge believer in women's sports, and growing that avenue, and also finding coaches that also have the same mindset of, well, they're girls, so they can do the same exact training,
Yeah.
and they're not limited.
Mhm.
And also finding great facilities and a great league where you're gonna show up. And to me, like as a parent, is like the commitment that the parents do, because you're gonna drive on a Saturday. Most of the time, we play in Cypress area or something like that. We want to make sure that the parents get there and there's a game going on. There's
Mhm.
referees there. They're playing the same kids at the same age.
Yeah.
So I just tell them, give me those 10 weeks, and we'll make once we make it through there, we'll get started. We'll rest up, enjoy the holidays, because we're a big believer on that, and then
Mhm.
come back again in the spring, and just give me those 10 weeks, and that's how we're getting ready for that right there.
Yeah. Oh man. Well, it's gonna be fun. Let's just hope that the weather continues to be great, and then that
Hmm.
way we don't have to worry about that. But I love hearing that you have great parents, great families that you're working with. That the kids are also disciplined and understand the importance of it, and that they're all enjoying the sport. So
Hmm.
that's
Of course.
that's really fun. And yeah, no, and so actually as we start to wrap up, I would like to extend an invitation to you, and I'll do this publicly. And I also want to extend it to everybody out there, because this fall, we're gonna have Salvadoran Heritage
Hmm.
Night at the Houston Dynamo, and so that's gonna be on September 26th. It's going to be fun. Last year we had about 200, over 200 people show up. And so, this year we want to blow it out the water. And so everybody's invited. And so make sure that you're adding that into your schedule.
Of course, we definitely will be there for sure.
That you're adding it to your schedule, and that we can have you out there, because it's really about bringing together the community and around the sport, but then also really highlighting our heritage, and just hearing about your family, and how your Salvadoran roots have also been such a big part of what you do. We'd definitely love to have you out there.
Of course, we'll definitely be out there.
Yeah.
Absolutely, looking forward to it.
Yeah. So it's gonna be very fun. But um yeah, no, I think right now one of the things is it's incredible to know that the summer is ending,
Hmm.
that we're going into fall, and that so much has happened in 1 year. I
Yes.
mean, I don't know. Do you How was your World Cup experience? Do you pinch yourself saying like, "Oh my gosh, we did all this?"
Hmm. Yes. I always think back to '94, right,
Mhm.
where I was then to when I was now. It just happens to be that my oldest, is the same age as I was when we went, when it happened. I'm sorry. And then just being able to, back then we didn't host it, but now we did, and it's just being able to see everything that's behind the tables, behind the camera, everything that was going on, the logistics, how the city came together to make sure that traffic was going,
Mhm.
um, and and everything that was you were able to get opportunities for the community to be able to enjoy. That was wonderful.
Mhm.
And on our side of things, like being able to go to a couple of games, experiencing that. My daughter being able to walk on the field with some of the players that was part of A-Leaf ISD, they were able to
It's
provide that.
wonderful.
That was a wonderful experience, and also all the other kids that were able to do that. I think that it was very impactful, and just the business that it created, and just
Yeah.
the passion for, I think, not just necessarily playing soccer, but just soccer overall and youth sports.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I feel like there's definitely a before and an after
Yes.
this summer. And so, just hope that it continues to, everything continues to grow, right? That the love, the access, that we have more people supporting the Dynamo as well. I think
Yes.
that's the very important one. And I know you have been a big supporter, because you've also, I know in recent days you've also been able to do like ticket giveaways and stuff like that.
Hmm.
So thank you for always thinking of community and providing those opportunities, because it does bring more people close to the game through
Yes.
those experiences.
Yeah, so we were able to partner up with Dynamo Charities, and we've been doing it since I was in education, and it expanded to where it's at now. And it's like I mentioned before, it's being able to get the kids out there,
Hmm.
and it's a sacrifice as well, right, to getting them there. However, if we can impact them in that way, where they can just be able to once in a lifetime experience,
Yeah.
come out there and enjoy it, or also some of our older adults, right? That they can take their kids and experience that with them.
Yeah.
Because those are fond memories that I have. My dad always taking me to Astros or Oilers back then,
Hmm.
and Texans games and things like that, and Rockets
Yeah.
that I always remember. And it's something that I hope those memories are able to be built with the ones that we give the tickets to.
Yeah. No, wonderful. Well, thank you so much. Thank you so much for being here
Yes, thank
today,
you. It was a pleasure.
sharing about yourself, your business, where you see youth soccer, where it's been, where it's going, and yeah, I look forward to hopefully we can do partner, collaborate, or something in the future on the different projects that I think we're both working on. We've kind of been in the same ecosystem, so it'd be
Yes,
great to see what opportunities are there. But yeah, thank you for being here.
absolutely. Thank you. It was a pleasure.
Yeah. Well, and remember, guys, the football takeover, we are here every Wednesday at 10 a.m. with wonderful guests. And so make sure that you tune in. And I just want to say a really quick shout out to Catalina, Paola, and also our friends at Twin Oaks Apartments for tuning in and leaving us a comment. I hope that everybody enjoys this morning, the rest of the day, and that this weekend. I think there's a Dynamo game coming up. I know.
There's a Dash game on the 8th. I know that.
So make sure that you go support our local teams, right? Houston Dash and the Houston Dynamo, and then also on August 15th, I forgot to mention this. The Dynamo is going to do like a big celebration for the 20th anniversary of that championship, that 2006 championship. So I know I'll be there.
Okay.
I might be wearing my championship ring that day, but yeah, we really want to celebrate, our teams and everybody that's part of this soccer ecosystem here in Houston. But thank you guys for tuning in, and we'll see you next week. Yeah, no, next.